Hey everyone, it's K-Red, and welcome to this week's Peaceful Pattern. And today we are doing the pattern Dillo, as in armadillo. It's by CZT Lori Manoogian. Super easy. Anybody can do this one. And where this goes in your art in the future is limitless. It's a great little fill. It fits in together fun. We'll have some fun shading it as well. So let's go ahead and get right into the pattern. To start with, I set myself up with 6 little boxes. Made it a little bit easier for me as I'm thinking about this to have the little separations and to work off. I am going to work off a bottom line. Now, I have seen and done some research on this, and it's super cute if you're doing this off a curve rather than a bottom line, a straight line. So maybe down here we'll do a curved line to do a couple of them in a row. But for this, we're just going to do it nice and simple within these little, well, they're more rectangles than they are squares. And the first step is just the most basic circle. Half circle, quarter circle, however big an arch you want or don't want. That's going to depend a lot on how many you fit in the future. So for that, we're going to go right there. So let's go ahead and duplicate it again. And on this one, we'll give ourselves just a little bit more of an arch. So we have a little bit more room, but not much. And we have our arch right there. So then we're going to switch to our red pen so that in the future I can remember that this is the second step. And all we're going to do is I don't know if you want to call it a circle, if you want to call it a petal, if you want to call it a leaf, whatever you want to call it, we are going to start with that. That's simple. That's all we have to do to start with. So we're going to repeat ourselves one more time. And we're going to do the petal. That's 2 and 3. We'll have to see. I don't know if we're really going to use all 6 of these squares or not, but we'll see where we end up. And then right now, we're going to go back and aura that circle. So it was a half circle with a petal, and now with an aura. Let's go ahead and repeat our steps. Circle, the petal, the aura, and then now we are going to aura, whoops, wrong end of the pen. So now we are going to aura this top arc, but we're going to end at this point. So it's going to taper off a little. So don't start at the point, go down almost equal distance to here. It'll look nice if this is orderly. So if you like to work off graph paper, this is a great one to do on graph paper. And we're going to go, and then as we start to taper, just so we can end right there. Do you see the start of the armadillo? And that is step 4. So let's start at the beginning again. We have our arch, we have our petal, we have our first aura, paying attention to the distance between those 2 lines, those aura. We're going to try to recreate that distance as best we can. Up on top, we do an aura, but this time we come to a point. So space down here, point over here. So then for our step number 5, we are going to do another aura. And I'm going to go ahead and include it onto here, the next step. So it's all together. So, and that's all we're doing. Repeat and repeat, right? What's that old joke? Pete and repeat. We're sitting on a fence. Pete fell off and who was left? Repeat. Sorry. Dad joke of the day. But that's where we are. The arch, the petal, the aura to a point, the aura not to a point, and then repeat and repeat. That was a little bit bigger. And that, my friends, is Dillo. How cute is that? So like I said, I had seen it on the website, and I'd seen a couple of other CZTs and such do it as I was trying to learn this pattern. And some of them did it on a curved line. So let's give that a try. I haven't done this yet on a curved line. So let's see how it works. So let's go ahead and do our step 1, which will be our original half circles. And I'm going to do them in a line as if the little Dillos are on a parade. So that's going to give me step 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So then let's do the petal, the aura, and now I'm going to have to remind myself to breathe. I'm going to want to slam through these as fast as I can. These take a little bit of time for me to get my breathing right. The first aura is of the petal, and then it comes to the point. But I could see filling a whole page with these and just really enjoying breathing through them. Perfect if you're mentally tired, as I often am mentally tired, so that doing some of the ones that have steps or some of the ones that can be a little more difficult can just seem overwhelming sometimes. But a pattern like this would be a cute little border. There you go. What do you think? Now I can see if I was doing a Zentangle art right now, I could see myself doing another aura over this and another pattern. I could just see myself from these arcs here, putting maybe another one counterclockwise on top of it and filling them in. On tanglepatterns.com, like where I found this, where I always found them, they often would use this as their line, do another petal here, or actually they'll probably use this one as their line, do another petal here, and then fill in. So there's all kinds of options and all kinds of things that we can do with this, and I am sure I will be playing with it throughout the week. If you play with it throughout the week, I hope you would share with me some of what you've done. Let me know how it turned out for you. I'm going to go ahead and play some with some shading. Their shading went on Tangle Patterns. I could see that she did shading along this top row. So let's do some of that. I'm going to turn my paper because then it's easier for me to pull the pencil towards me, the graphite towards me, than it is to kind of go left to right, or at least it is at this moment easier. I think it would be great to have some shading underneath it. I think I would love for this to come to a little bit of a better point. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little weight there so it can have some point. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of weight under each of these. Not all shading has to be done with a pencil. Sometimes when you come back in and you shade, you're actually doing it with a pen, and you're adding some weight and some depth into it. Probably should have let that dry a little bit more before I came back with the blender to blend that a little bit more. But I kind of like having that end distinction between the beginning of one and the end of one. Look like a mustache to anybody? That's simple. Tangles don't have to be hard. They don't have to be difficult. The whole point is that they are not. So this is called Dillo. I'm going to even put a little thing on it as if it's the ending of Armadillo. And it is by Lori Manoogian. That sounds like it might be right. At tanglepatterns.com. Now she is a CZT. And so that's no doubt helped her to come up with such a great little doodle for us. So that's it. Check it out this week. Give yourself some kindness. Have some fun. Little pen and pencil therapy does wonders for the soul. Hope you're enjoying yourself during what where I live is summer. And stay safe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.